Hi, this is Anjali from Sanskriti Box, and I'm sitting here today with Anjali Joshi, author of Ganesha and the Little Mouse. And this is one of our favorite books, and it's going to be in our first Sanskriti Box. So we wanted to interview Anjali and ask her a couple of questions. How's it going, Anjali?
It's going great. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Awesome. So we have a couple of questions that we thought that our readers and our subscribers would be interested in. So the first question is, did you always want to be an author, and how did you decide to start writing?
Growing up, I always loved to read. Every birthday, every holiday, there was always a book on my wish list. And I've always said that I grew up between the covers of books. I spent my childhood lost in magical worlds and been a part of epic journeys. Reading has been a great part of my growing up. And growing older, as I became a teacher and a mother, my goal was always to foster the love of reading and learning in not only my own child, but the next generation as an educator. And that motivation only grew stronger when I had my own son, and I saw how few developmentally appropriate materials there were available that referenced Indian culture, and I didn't want that lost on the next generation, and that really pushed me to work with Bharat Babies and develop this story.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I mean, we noticed the same thing, which is one of the reasons why, Sanskriti Box has started and kind of trying to help all of these parents find these books that are amazing like yours and try to get them out. So I'm so happy that you decided to make that decision. So my next question is, when did you first hear this story? So obviously this story is about a folk tale. And did you originally hear it from somebody else? Do you have a memory of hearing this story? How did it come to be?
I've probably been told a story initially as a toddler, but my first memory associated with it was probably when I was in grade 1 or 2. My family had just bought a house, and we were having the housewarming puja. And it was a lengthy ceremony, and much of it was the Ganesh puja. And I distinctly recall asking my mother at that time why we always do Ganesh puja at the start of every ceremony. And that's when she shared the story of the race and shared the symbolism of why Ganesh is recognized to be wise and remover of obstacles.
Maybe you want to give a little quick introduction to what your story is actually about. So obviously it's about Ganesha. Could you give a brief summary of it?
So the story Ganesh and Little Mouse is about Ganesh and his very best friend, Little Mouse. It's a very unusual friendship because there's Ganesh, who is this a very powerful and strong god, and a tiny little mouse, and he's often mocked for his friendship. So he takes on the challenge, right? He sees that there's an annual around the world race, and he takes on this challenge just to prove everyone wrong, just to show everyone how amazing little mouse really is. And inevitably, when he's up against antelopes and peacocks and the other much stronger and faster animals, they fail. They are the fastest. And that brings on the realization of what it really means to race around the world. And he, much similar to the original folktale, circles his parents and his friend Little Mouse to show that he completed the challenge because they are his world.
Yeah, and I think that speaks really well to our culture in general because, Indian culture really emphasizes a family unit and just how important that is. I wanted actually to learn a little bit more about your family. So you have a child, a son you mentioned as well. So tell us a little bit about him and how do you teach our culture to him?
So like you mentioned, I have one son. He is my pride and joy. He's the reason that I embarked on this journey, share my culture and my heritage in a way that he can relate to and understand. And like you mentioned, in our Indian culture, grandparents and the older extended family play a large role in sharing culture and traditions with younger children. And I live 4,000 kilometers away from family, and so one of the primary reasons that I felt like it was so important for me to play a part in developing these kind of resources is because of the absence of extended family close to me. And I felt it was so crucial for him to have that connection to his culture in that absence.
Okay, awesome. So I guess one final question for you is, obviously your book is going to be part of Sanskriti Box, which we are so excited about. How do you feel Sanskriti Box will make a difference for the children growing up here in, United States and Canada?
I think it's going to make a huge impact. I mean, it's a beautiful surprise for children who are curious and eager to learn about Indian culture. And it's totally different than how, you and I grew up, but it's not dragging my child to Sunday Hindi classes and, they're reluctantly participating. It's fun, it's interactive, and it gives them a chance to explore our beautiful, colorful culture using all of their senses. And that's really the way culture is meant to be explored and embraced.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you guys are going to be a part of it. And I really want to thank you for your time. We appreciate it so much. Again, Anjali Joshi from Ganesh and the Little Mouse. And we look forward to you guys all receiving the book. Thanks. This is Anjali Baradwa with Sanskriti Box.